Welcome, everybody, viewers, ladies and gentlemen, to the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup. I'm Karis, and joining me today, it's Heroes at School.
Hello, people.
So, the Legendary Cup, for those who don't know, is where the top teams from Divisions 2 and 3 of Heroes Lounge come together in our playoffs. And they've gone through the group stages, well, 16 teams. That's been narrowed down to 8. And today, those 8 teams will go head-to-head in a knockout tournament, concluding with the grand final later today. Heroes at School is looking like it's going to be an exciting matchup, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's hard to tell. We know we have like 2 divisions, but if we go up to the knockout stage, you probably can tell that, I guess, all the teams are approximately at the same level of skill. So I'm expecting some close matches today, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be just an exciting day. We are in for what might be called a long haul because we are going to be your casters for the whole day. So forgive us if our voices disappear by the end. But we'll see.
If we get some good games, we will have the energy all the way through. But
yeah. So if we run out of energy,
it's a task for us.
It's the players' fault. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, no, and yeah, I'm still pretty fresh, so yeah, really looking forward for the first match.
So am I. I mean, so one of the things, so the first match, just for those who don't know, is Diaz versus Team snOr, and one of the things that we saw at the draw show, the playoff draw show, was we had a viewer poll on who we thought would win, on who viewers thought would win the overall Legendary Cup. Now, some of those teams have been knocked out since, but Team snOr placed second highest in that poll. The first highest was Donna Fedora's, who we'll see later today, I'm sure. But Team snOr, yeah, with 12% of the vote, and on the other hand, Diaz were only getting 5.2% of the vote back in, I don't know, that was 3-4 weeks ago on the draw show. So at the time, definitely the viewers' favourite was Team snOr. I mean, do you think that's still the case?
I mean, I guess you have to really put the role of the favorite here on Team snOr, as they won the Division 2 in the regular season. They finished first there. And we do have the Deers coming up from Division 3, so basically you might say that they are the favorite. But, you know, I've seen bigger surprises than that in Heroes Lounge already, so not so sure about that yet.
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to run another poll, ladies and gentlemen. Another poll, the traditional Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup poll, which has been going on for, I would say, over 20 seconds now. So what you can do is you can vote using the options that you will see on screen in just a second. Vote for who you think will win the whole Legendary Cup today. You just type the number for the team that's on screen now, and so you can see you type 1 for Team snOr, 2 for Northern Exposure, etc., etc. The first 2 teams we're seeing are Diaz, which is number 8 there, and Team snOr, which is number 1. I mean, so you can vote for any team right now, and there's no prizes for getting it right. It's just for fun to see who the viewers think will win. So get your votes in there. This poll will be running for the next hour or 2. So there's still plenty of time, but get those votes in. So the first match, Heroes at School, the first quarter-final, is going to be a best of 3. What can we expect between these 2 teams?
Well, the map is already decided, so for the first match at least. It looks like we're going on Infernal Shrines, so basically we can tell probably a lot of what we can expect after this match, because I think Infernal Shrines already gives you a lot of information about macro and micro likewise. But to be honest with you, I think I haven't seen either team in the regular season, so I'm actually completely open to any information they're gonna give me in the first match. I can't tell yet too much about them. Did you see any of their games?
I've actually or not that I remember, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know what we should expect from these teams, but I know that, as you say, we are going to go to Infernal Shrines. I think it doesn't really tell us too much specifically about the teams just picking Infernal Shrines, because that is the most commonly picked map in Heroes Lounge, and I think teams like it as a kind of gentle introduction to the match. You know, it's not too strange of a map. You know, teams tend to play it fairly ordinarily. I'll just show up on screen for viewers the map bands as well, so they can see, you know, how it is that we're choosing Infernal Shrines. So teams, as you can see, Dia's banned Garden of Terror and Sky Temple, and Team snOr banned Alterac Pass and Dragonshire. And then Infernal Shrines, as you pointed out, picked up there by Dia's.
Yeah, and I mean, like in general, if we're still looking like what can we expect from this matchup, we do have actually from the regular season, we are actually watching first place from Division 2 against ninth place from Division 3. So you might really think that we might see a clear victory here for Team snOr, but to be honest with you, it's like I got the feeling myself when I played in the knockout stage or in the finals. I never played in the knockout stage anyway, but you know, like in the playoffs, there's a different rule set. Feels like it. So I think we can maybe forget that, and you know, like nerves coming in and everything gets a little bit different. So we might actually see the surprise coming here. I would like to see a close match. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Team snOr can really fulfill the role of the favorite they do have in it.
Yeah, I think definitely Diaz are going to feel a little bit under pressure, but that's not to say that they've got no chance at all. I think they're in with as decent a chance as any team, and of course, as you say, Team snOr probably the favorite, and we saw that with the poll figures from the draw show. By the way, for viewers who maybe can't see this on screen, but there's also a bet going on right now for who will win the first game. So much viewer interaction at once. I was not expecting the betting so soon. But you can type !bet A.
We're not ready yet.
And a number of points to bet on Diaz, and an !bet B, and a number of points to bet on Team snOr. And it looks like most of the bets so far have been on Team snOr from what I've seen. But it's still a couple of minutes in to get your bets there. And there you can win points, virtual points on the channel, which also do nothing, to be honest. But it's good. It's good, clean fun here on Heroes Lounge. Like I say, don't forget to vote in the poll. But we are going to go into the draft in game number 1 in this best of 3 quarterfinal. So, Infernal Shrines. What kind of heroes are we expecting to get priority here?
It's on Infernal Shrines. I think you do have like certain heroes that are especially strong there, like Alex Strasser, a good, very strong support with the Dragon Lady. You can secure the shrine, the objective, just by itself. I personally favor Sylvanas a lot on Infernal Shrines, because if you do get that John Cena coming in for your team, you can make it really work. You get maybe even an early keep with her. And yeah, certainly my absolute favorite on Infernal Shrines is Diablo. I think he went a little bit out of the meta, but you know, all these walls, all these bushes and narrow paths, those are dreamland for Diablo players. So maybe we're gonna see some of them here.
Yeah, I mean that seems like he's still prioritized quite highly in competitive play, even if, as you say, in Storm League, he's not really considered as strong. I think here on Infernal Shrines in particular as well, because of the map geometry, he's so good at those kind of wall charges. The Earl of Sandwich delivering the wall sandwich, as it's sometimes known. So we may well see that soon. So Rhaegar banned because he's probably the best. Yes, I just read your message there. You're right.
Oh well.
So I will sort that out. We have left. We've. Sorry about that. We're going to go back to my face. We were in just Rhaegar ban is not the right thing. So, minor technical hitch there. So we'll get we'll get the thing up and running soon enough. But yes, so Diablo might get prioritized. What was I saying? Yes, Diablo get prioritized. I also think you probably see like focus on shrine clear. Like I was talking about a Rhaegar ban there, but that's not the case. So don't count on the Rhaegar ban. Viewers, that was something completely different. Smooth, but the
sorry for a moment there. I think we do have some technical issues for a moment, don't we?
We do have some technical issues, but you can still vote in the poll on screen. That's all Gucci. I will get us in the right place soon enough. But what was I saying?
Well, wait a moment. Am I in the wrong lobby or are you? Or were you?
I was, but I think...
Because my lobby, and I think I was in the right one, actually started the match, and I think we might have to restart them, isn't it?
Ideally, yes. If you can, that would be ideal. But if not, then I'll join after draft. But while we do, you can tell us what's going on in the draft.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could tell you we do have bans against Vala Alara Gul'dan from the side of Deers, and bans against Garrosh and ETC so far from the side of. Okay, so they decided now to finish the draft and then restart with the same draft.
Okay, that's good.
So I'm going to take you blindly through the draft. So actually, a lot of stuff already happened. We do have picks from Hanzo and Chen for the side of Deers, and Greymane, Johanna, and Rhaegar on the side of Team snOr. And now we got coming in Kalthas and Anduin. Actually, no Diablo picked yet, so that's kind of interesting to see. But the main tank is still missing on the side of the team. Oh, that's so hard to do without the overlay. On the side of Deers.
On the right.
Okay, finish draft and then restart.
Okay, so you're saying Rhaegar banned. Sorry, you tell us the band.
Yeah. Okay. So the draft for the Team snOr is actually finished. They're gonna play with Johanna, Greymane, Rhaegar, Jaina, and Irel. And on the other side, we have a finish now as well. They play with Mal'Ganis, Chen, Anduin, Kalthas, and Hansa. So I actually feel two very strong drafts. For the moment, we might have a little bit of a better wave clear, or especially camp clear on the side of Team snOr here, which might help them with the camps. So Chad is asking if they get a radio match. That would be something new for me as well. Like I could like try this, but that's gonna be a lot of talking. No, so we aborted the lobby now. You could join us.
Yes, and, I'm going to do that momentarily.
Boom. There we go. Okay. So looks better now. We can restart the draft and then we can maybe talk through it again. Because I don't think you could have kept every hero in mind that I just talked.
Not quite. So I think we are going to get the draft sort of run through quickly so viewers can see shortly.
Yeah.
That's going to be good fun. But I mean, what were the distinguishing features of the draft that you've seen so far?
Well, I kind of, because I was dealing with the technical issue here at the same time, I kind of missed the sequence of the draft. But we saw a really high priority on Hanzo. He was first pick on the side of Deers. And then on the other side, we had a high priority on Johanna. And I get that. Johanna is pretty strong on Infernal Shrines, especially on the shrines themselves. So no priority on the Diablo, who is better for engages on the enemy team, but more focus on the objective here from both teams, actually. So yeah, there we go with the same draft. So we saw the Garrosh and the Vala ban. And Vala is interesting to me because I think there are, especially in the higher ranks, there are many teams that feel her like first pick, first ban material. But in general, I don't feel that in lower divisions. I think she's still pretty squishy, although she got her health buff. And especially on Inferno Shrines, I'm surprised to see that ban.
Yeah, I think the Valor ban may well be targeted at someone. So I'm not too surprised by that. The Alarak, of course, is fairly standard in Storm League in particular. I think in the high-level competitive, he's not so sought after.
Yeah.
Gul'dan is focusing on that Shrine clear ban, which makes a lot of sense there as well.
Yeah, so AoE damage coming in. Hanzo and Kalphas is so good for the race. Even from afar, they can clear the shrines so fast. And on the other side, we do have Jaina and Crymane and Johanna, not too shabby either, in that perspective. So yeah, it's interesting to see that both teams actually focus on the objective, and that's not so much on a good team fight setup. Although both teams do have pretty well setups for team fights as well, but it's not like that single target blow up compilation. I don't see that from either side here.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's more. I mean, the Jaina and Greymane will be single target blow up, but there's not really the lockdown to set that up. I think so. That's not. That maybe won't get so.
Maybe they can isolate with the IRL and then get a target down with the damage dealer that you talked about, like Jaina and Rhaegar, not Rhaegar, Greymane, the other wolf. But yeah, if they get a good engage with the Johanna Blessed Shield and then it's slow from a Rhaegar, and one target might have difficult to escape there. But on the other side, we do see Anduin to exactly counter that at least once with his trade. So both tanks actually, like here Chen and Mal'Ganis, can be kind of aggressive as long as they know that they do have this leap of faith still backing them up. So yeah, interesting. So who would you favor from this draft?
You know what? My gut feeling is to always favor a draft with Mal'Ganis because I just think he's such a devastating tank and he gets a bit underestimated. Oh, but we don't have time as we're going to go after something. Finally into game number 1. In the first quarter-final of the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup. On the left, in blue, it's Diaz with Mai on Shen, Pwoki on Anduin, Sephiroth on that Mal'Ganis who we just talked about, Gaben on the Kael'thas, and Junie on Hanzo.
Okay, so if we already look here at the talents, we see a talent on Anduin that is actually not picked too often these days. Bold strategy. I think these days you usually go more for a renew, and especially with Johanna and Arel, I think that would have been enough targets to trigger off that renew every time. So kind of surprised by that. Apart from that, yeah, it's standard Q build for the Hanzo, and of course we do have Mana Edict. And on the other side as well, I don't see any too bigger surprises. Loss of Hope is kind of interesting, but yeah, nothing too surprising so far.
I mean, that cheeky rotation was a little bit surprising from Team snOr, just putting immediate pressure on that top lane, because, of course, that's where that first Punisher is spawning. I don't think they knew that, by the way, when they did it, but that's going to get value, because that first Punisher will go to the top lane if, of course, Team snOr can win that Punisher, which, of course, remains to be seen. So both teams are just going to get back to a normal rotation now and start soaking with Arel versus Chen in the Immortal solo lane, let's say, at the top.
Yeah, so after, yeah, like you said, the strange start, we do have like a normal rotation coming in with the 2 solo laners on the top lane and the 4-man rotation between mid and bot lane. And yeah, like there's kind of dangerous here from the Kael'thas, just a little step too far and he gets slowed, but Greymane was slapped from the Mal'Ganis. Nice disengage from him here there.
Yeah, lovely peel for the Mal'Ganis. That's one of the reasons I like Mal'Ganis as a tank, and I think he's such a devastating force. He's just got so much CC. He's got the swipes and the sleep, and that is just enough to control engages and also to set up engages for his own team when necessary.
Yeah, there's a sleep against Jaina, but not enough damage dealers here to back it up. And now they have to retreat first camp actually is taken, and I talked about this, like with the Greymane and the Rhaegar, they do have such a fast camp clear here. So they get the first neutral camp at the bot lane in their hands, and now go for their own safe siege camp.
Yeah, so Team snOr definitely going to be prioritizing those camps with the double wolf, as you say, the wolf pack. And so, having done the siege in the mid, I suspect they might get that bruiser camp rolling in the top lane, even though, of course, the Punisher's there, so it's not as much value as maybe on if the Punisher was in a different lane. But it's still just a bit of lane pressure, gives them a bit of space to work with when they're going for that shrine. Level 4 talents are in. I mean, so one of the juicy things is Joanna going for that Eternal Retaliation at level 4, which gives her so many condemns. Oh, Sephiroth, have you been caught out a little bit here? Gets the sleep off onto 3 members. Can he swipe himself out of there? I'm not sure he can in time. Swipe, swipe. Just about gets away. Nice escape from Sephiroth there on 400 HP.
Yeah, actually, this felt like they could have gotten him, but maybe they, like, it didn't feel like they went with the full commitment in. You were just talking about the Eternal Retaliation, and I'm really surprised by Eternal Retaliation. I get the idea of more Ws, but I think for the better wave clear that bonus damage on the E is a really needed talent there. For me, feels like. But maybe they felt like they need even more peel and for better sustain fights with the cooldown reduction on the W.
Yeah, so I think the E bonus damage does better overall damage. But I think the idea of this condemn is going to provide continuous disruption because on those shrines, she's just going to have condemn up so often.
Yeah, sure.
Starts going in, trying to create a bit of space. So a lot of damage already though, and because of the Laws of Hope, her Iron Skin shield is not so big and it's already been blown up. And the Living Bomb forcing Joanna back there.
Yeah, so, and actually you could already tell, like, oh, there's an engage coming in from the Morganis, but the disengage with the Blizzard actually zoning out for their team, but the team of snOr, Team snOr is actually dropping lower and lower, and they have to retreat for the moment. Race is still on around the objective, but it looks like we might see a head start now for the side of Deers. And they actually get a good engage in the backline on the Kalthas, but now they have to retreat themselves as Kalthas survived the attack. Now they can launch an attack on the Jaina themselves. And it's finally Team Deers who is on the retreat from the objective, but they are only missing 5 more minions here.
Yeah, so they just have to get Kalthas to throw in some flame strikes and finish this off, but presumably Joanna and Irel are going to try and do a zoning job here. Chen goes in, puts enough pressure onto Irel. Irel has to start thinking about jumping out, brings the Living Bomb in though, and that's what finishes off the Punisher for Team Deers there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see a flame strike targeted to the enemy's heroes when you do have only 4 more minions missing, but it worked out in the end for them, and they almost got the kill on the Irel as well there.
Yeah, and Irel did get away, but of course that means she's not here to help clear this Punisher. I think with 3 members here, there's no real threat to the fort from the Punisher. Punisher's already gone down. In fact, Sephiroth's got to be careful. Sensibly gets himself out of there with a Night Rush. In the meantime, of course, Irel and Chen just casually soaking the other lanes. Chen seems to be getting the edge of that there and has got a bit of push pressure onto those bottom towers. Level 7 talents are in. Chen going for the Elusive Brawler at level 7. Fairly ordinary, particularly against auto-attack threat from Greymane.
Yes, of course it's gonna help him a lot against like heroes like Greymane. But to be honest with you, I'm even more surprised by Subdue. I mean, is that... Oh, first, let me catch that kill on Anduin as he got caught out and finished by the Greymane there. But Subdue, is that like... I mean, it's hitting 2 or more heroes at the same time. Hit 4 or more heroes at the same time with Punish. I don't see that happen. Oh, I guess when we do have Earth, Wind, and Fire, we might have a chance to see that come in. But until then, it's...
You do see a lot of teams picking Subdue just because even if you don't ever get the stack on it, it's still good just when you hit 2 or more heroes. It's just continuous slow value. There's just so much slow. It is like walking in treacle. And I think that's probably the idea. And as you pointed out, of course, when the Chen ult comes in, if there's another hero standing next to him, that's a free stack, basically. If those 3 Chens are there, that stacks your Subdue pretty easily. And once you've got it stacked, again, it's like an 80% slow for the rest of the game. That's really unpleasant to deal with. So that's probably the idea there from Joanna. As level 10s have rolled in here for Team snOr, who are looking pretty far ahead in the XP game.
And we actually still see Zephyro going for an engage kind of there. I think if they knew that he would come out there, they could have gotten him immediately with an ultimate combination there. By the way, it's gonna be the Cursed Bullet, just to blow up that heavy front line of Chen and Mal'Ganis maybe at some point, to have a free run into the backline. And we do actually see the Water Elemental, which is kind of surprising to me a little bit. It might help her against the engages that she found on herself so far, so she can maybe delay some of the attackers on her.
Yep. Zephyro goes in with this Night Rush, must be a bit cautious. Yeah, so the ults that have come in from Diaz, we've got the Boogie Wonderland, the Storm, Earth and Fire from Chen, Holy Word Salvation from Anduin. I will talk about that in just a second. The Dark Conversion from Mal'Ganis, which again, a very spicy pick. And of course, Phoenix and Hanzo Arrow are fairly standard. But so two things stand out there: the Dark Conversion from Mal'Ganis and the Holy Word Salvation from Anduin. Now, we were just talking about how Joanna's always going to have Condemn up on those shrines because of their reset on level 4.
Yeah, I doubt the value of Salvation here as well, and you do have like a good and strong engage here on the side of Mal'Ganis, or even better on Chen, who can really jump in at any point that he wants to with his flying kick. So I think there might have been some good targets for Light Bomb.
By the way, the Dark Conversion already got value. I don't know if you saw, Zephyro was getting jumped a bit, and then he just Dark Conversioned onto Greymane and completely swapped health round. So, you know, immediate value despite it being a slightly surprising pick.
Nice leap of faith here from the Anduin. What a good save. And now the arrow coming back in. And they get the kill against Jaina in the backline with the Earth, Wind and Fire. And the Ancestral on Rhaegar himself is not coming through, so he falls as well. And that is very well fought from the Deers. Every side, every member of their team performed pretty well there. Hanzo dropping low, but getting safe with the leap of faith, and then the counter-attack run perfectly with the Chen in the backline, and the finish against the Rhaegar.
Yeah, and with that, Deers are going to secure their second objective of this game. I mean, you know, we said they're coming into this as the underdogs. I tell you what, they don't feel like it right now. Yes, they've been behind on XP soaking mostly, but in terms of actual shrine fights, they're looking pretty confident. And Mal'Ganis is going in looking for a swipe onto Joanna. Maybe they can catch Joanna here with the Iron Skin.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see the trade pull off once the John Cena is jumping in. I guess that's kind of one of the bonuses on Infernal Shrines of Joanna, that you can easily pull over a John Cena here. And now he's actually jumping on Irvin, but he's getting cleansed from his fellow wolf friend. And they're getting lower and lower Ancestral Healing coming in on a Johanna as she needed it, but that Mal'Ganis is really pesky there in the front line. And now we do have the 5 against 4 situation as Jorel was coming bow, and they get the Mal'Ganis first. What a good kill there, what a nice rotation coming in, good macro management here.
Kael'thas has to be careful here. No, even the save from Anduin can't stop him from dying. Maybe Anduin's next to fall, 180 HP. Lovely healing wave comes back and just tops him up, but I mean...
Even saved by the Dragon's Arrow there from Hanzo, so going for the safe route to just disengage with the arrow.
Yeah, both teams used basically all their heroics except for the Anduin and the Arel. Like the Holy Word Salvation was not used, but yeah, I mean, and basically a fight over what I would call nothing. Like the fort was already gone, and you know Mal'Ganis was hungry for that Joanna. That didn't quite pay off because of the ancestral healing, and then it was just kind of a turnaround and punishing Diaz for going a little bit too aggressively there, and they paid a bit of a price.
So chat is wishing us to talk a little bit less on talents during the team fights. It's hard to tell actually between, and that's the thing I wanted to talk about anyway. Like it's hard to tell when a team fight is coming up because both teams like casually walk around each other, and all of a sudden the team fight's happening. So that might be the reason why. But for sure, I guess we're gonna focus on the team fight once it's going down.
Yeah, we definitely will focus on those team fights, and I think we've managed to cover them all so far. Icy Veins from Jaina at level 13, so really going for a lot of burst damage and combining that with a Greymane. If there's a Blessed Shield engage, maybe they really are going for that single target blow up. You know, and we were saying neither team looks too focused on that, but if they can blow up anyone except Mal'Ganis or Chen, basically, it'll be pretty effective. But there's a fight kicking off now. Mal'Ganis starts to swipe, looking for Erwin's Greymane, but Erwin's Greymane might have got out of here. The Night Rush isn't available to stop him from running away. Kael'thas has come too deep looking for trouble, but Anduin saves it. And now the Water Elemental is starting to get value for Jaina.
Yeah, and actually we see them still going after them. Nice save again with the Leap of Faith against Kalthas. And I guess you talked about it. If we do have kind of a burst, like single target blow-up combination for Team snOr here, but if they don't get that, I think they really have to retreat from the team fights. I think the longer team fights will be in favor of the Deers here, as we've already seen twice.
Yeah, because for one reason for that is don't forget the Dark Conversion cooldown is only 80 seconds. It's not that huge, so he can use it, you know, fairly impulsively if he's in even the slightest bit of trouble, or to cause a bit of trouble for the enemy team. And definitely, you know, we don't see that heroic a lot. Usually you see the Carrion Swarm, but it seems to be working out well for Sephiroth and Mal'Ganis here. Oh, that gravity lapse was absolutely cheeky from Kael'thas there, just about blocking Irel from jumping in. And are they going to fight here? Both teams lining up with their
actually
camps.
A close call. So we do have control over the top lane for the side of Team snOr, which is actually helping with their objectives. So they immediately try to use the time that they do still have their camp up. And they know that the Team Deers has to deal with that. So they try to use the time and get a head start of roughly 15 to 20 minions here.
Yeah, and the thing is, Sephiroth starts going in. He's gone in pretty deep. He's got the swipes, catches onto Jaina. She's got to start retreating, but her water elemental's out. Oh, the Hanzo arrow just about misses. And now maybe this is a potential counter-engage from Team snOr as Emperor starts going in, looking to zone people, and the water elemental still doing work, but the Dark Conversion comes out.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire is pulled off, and they actually try to refocus there. There's another focus on the Jaina in the backline, and she gets away from him. And with the Blessed Shield, she's kind of safe. She's batting away with 180 HP. And then we have the first use of Holy Word Salvation, and it's not interrupted, so Hanzo lives for another day. And now they try to refocus the game. This fight is actually going back and forth. Both AoE spells miss a lot. Irel is chopping low, but it's Sephiroth, Chen, that falls first here on the side of the Team Deers, and Irel is actually jumping back in with only 500 HP, and Johanna is still in the front line there, but she has a trade up, so she can retreat. And we only got one kill after this, I think, 30-second team fight, which was going back and forth like crazy.
How did Irel live through that? Like, Irel seemed to be on 10% HP for about 30 seconds there, just going in and out and in and out, and just about playing the limits of the hero. Great play from Rathaloi there, but it looks like Deers have to give this shrine over and step back as a result of that. Great play. I love that they managed to disengage so successfully from the channel, because that's always the challenge, isn't it? Is the Boogie one.
Yeah, and we actually saw, and I guess that is gonna be a big game changer coming in the use of the ice block of the Jaina, because they did have the idea of the focus on the target of Jaina once they get the Earth, Wind, and Fire, and that worked for them in the last team fight. But now with the ice block, Jaina has kind of an answer to that, and she can pull off the water elemental in the time, and they actually got the kill against Chen before Jaina fell, and I guess that was key in this team fight.
Yeah, I think that's the crucial thing, is because normally that Chen running around can be so devastating for those backliners, and we saw Jaina do a perfect job of kiting. And as by the way, Jaina not taking the shield talent at level 13, instead going for, like we said, Icy Veins, and that means that, oh, is Sephiroth going in? Again, they're going for it, the Hanzo arrow comes, it misses everybody though. Sephiroth uses the Dark Conversion to try and put a bit of pressure onto Jaina, trying to control the members of the backline so that the rest of his team can catch onto Johanna, but I'm not sure it's going to quite work out for them. And as Chen manages to pop the Boogie Wonderland, he's going in.
Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire is pulled, and again, same idea. They go for the Jaina, same answer with the ice block. Ancestral is healing the wolf, and now we do have Hanzo in a lot of isolated position, much isolated position there, and he actually falls there. And now they even get a free run on the Kalthas, and he might fall here as well. Yes, he sure does. Rega finishing him off there, I guess with the Storm Shield. So 2 kills for 0, and actually we finally got Team snOr kicking in with their skill that they are at, and with the better team fights at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, because we said earlier, like, if the team fights are long, that seems to favor Deers, but it's not working out like that. It seems like Team snOr are really good at kind of stretching this fight, pulling Mal'Ganis a little bit too far, and then when he has to start retreating, that's when they start punishing Chen, is when they start punishing Kael'thas. And you know, this is starting to look pretty good here for Team snOr, who were a little bit maybe on the back foot structurally, but in terms of these team fights, they seem to know very much what they're doing, and they're looking in control.
Yeah, and I guess one part we have to talk about as well is we actually saw 2 Hanzo Arrow now missing completely, and that is actually a big change to our team fight as well. You might miss those stun times, and like it's a good follow-up for Chen and gives you enough time to maybe set up a nice target and something like it. But yeah, we actually saw 2 arrows going wild here.
Yeah, I think I don't know what to give credit to that for. It seems like the structure, like the shape of the team fights from Team snor's perspective, they know those Hanzo arrows are a threat. They know that Mal'Ganis swipes are a threat, so they're spreading out nicely and not letting Diaz get a nice juicy chunk engage onto them. So the good positioning there from Team snOr as they're still pushing here, looking for Chen. Can they get the kill before he can get his ult off? Yes, they can. Chen's good night. Now maybe they're going to get more, but Sephiroth goes in with a sleep to try and create a bit of space. But oh, he's been punished for that. Mal'Ganis is down as well. This looks a disaster here for Diaz as the Team snOr are so hungry here for kills.
Even with the Ardent Defender now, Irel is really up there in the backline, and she feels really comfortable. We do have a good disengage again from the Kalthas, who gets a lot of damage in, but the keep is down, and the question is, oh, we already have the first GGs coming in this 5 against 3 situation. It was a level 20 against 19 team fight, so that helps you a lot, but I guess they can't finish yet. And so they think as well, and they retreat, actually. So we do have an alone standing GG from Sephiroth coming in here. And actually, no GG yet.
Yeah, and by the way, that means Diaz can get level 20. That means they're still in the game. So a slightly premature GG calls by Mal'Ganis there. But and with the level 20s coming in, I think Diaz are completely still in this game. Like, yes, they're a keep down, but a keep down is just a keep. The problem is they've got to clear this top lane and contest the shrine. That's going to be very difficult for Diaz, and let's see how they approach it.
Still a second until N1 comes here, and it looks like we have Team snOr like playing this straight till the end. They go for the camp, they go for the top camp for this bruiser camp, and they try to get any value out of there. And they are sitting at 35. They could poke this down, and if they have the John Cena, this might mean game as well. And now they are just on the retreat. But we do see Team Beers actually coming in. Oh, that arrow missing again, and that is still a good engage for them. We have Blind as a bad Mal'Ganis going in the backline, and they get the kill against Jaina and Rega, although they did have the ice block this time. And they actually look like they can win this fight. We have Hanzo in a lot of trouble, but there's the salvation, and this time it has a lot of value again. Never could have imagined that, but Sephiroth in a lot of trouble, and he falls on the other side, and they still get the Punisher Irel with the finish against the 5 minutes that they still needed. And we get the, although she sacrificed herself for it, but Hanzo is in a lot of trouble himself now. But he has his trade ready, and he jumps over the wall, but there's John Cena just waiting for him. Will he jump again? He might soon, and he might hit 2 targets.
Yeah, and by the way, if he catches Hanzo and Anduin, that could be game. This, however, it looks like he won't, and that means that Diaz lived to survive another day. Yet again, a great survival here from Diaz, and it's all down to that great engage, which you have to give most of the credit to Mal'Ganis for, and Chen, of course, going in so deep, Sephiroth and Mai there. And the Hanzo arrow, as you said, missed yet again. I should say it was more dodge because Jaina did a perfectly timed ice block to avoid getting hit by it.
100%, yes.
But yes, but the Mal'Ganis was like, no, I don't care that the Hanzo arrow is missed. I'm still going blind as a bat, chop, wah, 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 wah. And, and he just got so many stuns, and eventually that secured the overall fight and allowed Diaz to defend that Punisher.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I mean, if we're talking about nerfs, like I guess Team snOr actually, when Sephiroth put up the GG, they had an opportunity to finish the game, and I think in a regular game you probably would have won for that. Like, you could have finished in this 5 against 2 or 3 situation easily. With all that speed damage coming in from Rega and Jaina, you can finish a core in easily, especially with the Icy Veins if they were up as well. And it's kind of a nerf thing to, like, you know, you want to play it really safe, and you retreat another time, and you go for the objective and stuff like that, but actually it keeps them in the game. And as you said, level 20 were coming in, and actually, by the way, we have Rebirth. Kind of surprised by that from the Kalthas here, because I thought that cooldown reduction on that Flame Strike could mean a game changer.
Yeah, particularly on the Shrine fight, I was expecting the Flame Strike taunt as well. The flamethrower, I think it's called. But the apparently not going for that rebirth, allowing him to use the Phoenix and reposition as a fight move. Oh, hello, is Chen out of position here? They want to catch this Chen, but he's got his Brewmaster's balance that allows him to run out there suitably enough.
Yeah, they try to apply. It's a smart play here coming in from Team snOr. They apply pressure on the top lane with the camp and immediately rotate it to the bot lane to maybe finish the keep there. They do see Kalthas there in the front, so they know that they are in a 5-against-4 situation here at the bot lane. And they try to poke it down, but it doesn't look like they get a keep from this. Kalthas finishing off here the Shaman and the 2 camps, catapults.
Yeah, so I think the name of the game here for Team snOr is they're just trying to keep pressure on the base. But Sephiroth's going in, gets the sleep onto Greymane, immediately cleansed by Rhaegar. Sephiroth's now in very deep. He can't get his Dark Conversion off. Can he? Can he get it off in time? He chooses to run to the protection, and now Chen pops his ult and gets running in. Irrel with the absorb stays alive for now. The Dark Conversion manages to pop, but Anduin has not been saved, and he's gone down. So this is a real difficult situation here for Diaz. They've got to start thinking about running away. But they're not running away. They're going for the Irrel instead. Oh, the confidence from Diaz. But Chen doesn't have anything left. He doesn't have his heroics. Can he survive? No. Oh, and now
finished by the Greymane there. And you can't. I guess you can't give enough credit here to the Irrel. She's really barely surviving. She's so clutch with the timing of her level 20 and the Ardent Defender and the Seraphim, which is called on level 20. Such a strong performance here by the Irrel. I feel like it because she really keeps the backline busy without falling there and gives her own team enough time to finish off the targets that they need, like the end win here in this particular case, or the champ.
So the question is, what do Diaz do now? They've only got 3 members alive, but something tells me this Punisher, which is a 24-minute Punisher, by the way, will be GG. So I'm sure that Diaz have to contest this or force a fight before the Punisher gets any value, like they did in the previous Punisher. But it's on 31 already, and Chen is still dead. I don't know if Diaz are doing the right decision here. Yes, if they go in, it'll be 4v5, but on the other hand, if they don't go in, they're going to be 5v6. And that 6th will be a very, very powerful Punisher.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about like just a second ago or a minute ago, because again, you see Team snOr to really go for the safe play here, even delaying the Punisher here for another moment and go for every camp first. And if this push on every lane is not finishing the game, then then we do have a good start into this series here, into the knockout stage of the Legendary Cup.
Apparently they're going in already. Sephiroth gets rooted by the Punisher. Oh, and he's just being immediately blown up. Yes, Anduin saves him. A great save from there. And he gets the Dark Conversion off. No, apparently not. So doesn't manage to top himself up either. So he's going to have to go back to the fountain. The Punisher's pushing all the way, though. There's no keeps left. There's catapults on every lane. This is a disaster here for Diaz, as the Punisher's still going healthy, still knocking on that core. There's 2 camps behind it. Now Sephiroth's trying to create a bit of a space. The protection's nice from Anduin, but it's just not enough. It's GG. Well played. It's game number 1 going over to Team snOr's.
Yeah, I guess, and you can tell, like, look at the situation around the core there. This was put to real safety here. Like, okay, we want to get that core, and they did get it.
Yeah, and great play from Team snOr, and they just, and we said, is it a risky play when they didn't finish earlier? But they're a team who know completely what they're doing and when to push for the kill and when to play a little bit safer. So great stuff from Team snOr, who, like we said, came in as the favourites. That draw show poll we were talking about earlier, where Team snOr were the second most likely to win the Legendary Cup out of the 16 teams who entered it.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, we did not see that dominant performance like start to finish. They were kicking in, I guess. There was like a few clutch talents or quests finishing, like Ice Block for Jaina was a big game changer in my opinion. And with the Ardent Defender and the Irrel, on the Irrel, they really were able to keep the backline busy, which helped them a lot. And yeah, still thinking a little bit about that level 20 from Kalthas. I think with I think with that cooldown reduction on that flame strike, that is such a clutch talent. You can burst up your damage amazingly with it. They might have gotten another chance, but until that point, it felt a little bit like Team snOr engine was running, and yeah, they were dominant in the team fights past that ice block point.
Yeah. Well, I have some news on the maps, which is that for game number 2, we're going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity. That's been picked by Diaz. So when a team loses in Heroes Lounge, they get a choice for their next game of map pick or first pick, and in this case, Diaz picking the map, and they've gone for Battlefield of Eternity. Now, what do we make of that? What does that suggest about how they want to play this?
I don't know actually. They might have some certain heroes in mind, especially like I feel like Battlefield for Eternity is a complete different approach. It's less macro a little bit as it's only a 2-lane map, and yeah, for the objective you can go for a race on the objective, but it feels to me at least like most of the times it's not the team that just has the better race wins the matches. Always around the team fights, and yeah, if you can very well defend around your own immortal there, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which approach the two teams actually take here. Will they go for an aggressive combination, for a race combination? We have heroes that would kick in here, which would not at all on Infernal Shrines, like Li Ming, because Li Ming is kind of bad on Infernal Shrines because she gets blocked on her damage with all the minions in between. And on on Battlefield of Eternity, you do have that team fights in wide open spaces. So Li Ming is kind of the #1 mage for this map, especially with her damage on the immortal as well. So yeah, it's a different map, and I get the idea of Team Deers to go for that approach, since I guess they got a little bit out macroed as well on the big map Infernal Shrines. Like if we talked about it, the good rotation from Irel coming in for a 5 against 4 situation when they were still down a little bit, and they were actually with the well, it wasn't like looking too rough yet, but they were behind a little bit, and they managed to turn it around with some good rotations, with some well-placed team fights on their side. So, and this is not that easily done on the Battlefield Eternity.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree. By the way, the viewers, we do still have a poll running, where you can still vote on. I was going to say you can still vote on the Legendary Cup. Who will win? You think will win the Legendary Cup? But it appears to have finished. So apparently the poll finished with Northern Exposure winning the most votes. I'll just show that for viewers there. Yeah, Northern Exposure won the most votes in that poll. So I guess that's the end of that. But that's quite a different result from what we saw in the draw show, where Northern Exposure were a bit lower. I think they were, they were 10th in the draw show poll. So.
Yeah, so maybe we do have some Northern Exposure fans here, and I actually didn't see any games from Northern Exposure in the playoffs as well. So maybe they pulled off some amazing series there and are now fans' favorites. Who knows?
So, with that in mind, I think we're almost ready to go into game number 2, or draft number 2, I should say. This time we'll actually have the draft on screen, so it won't just be a radio draft.
Yeah, you are in the right lobby, or we're both wrong, and that that would be kind of interesting after already a match played.
No, we are.
But then we're just gonna cover a different match. Fine.
And I think there's already betting going on, so you'll be able to bet on who you think will win game number 2 by typing !bet A and a number of points for Diaz, and !bet B and a number of points for Team snOr. Let's go into the draft in game number 2. So, with that in mind, because you were talking about the Li Ming here on Battlefield, amongst other things, I guess what you were saying is you still need to win the team fights, even though you need race as well. So probably we'll see heroes who are good for both, getting some priority here in the draft. But apparently Garrosh getting banned early, so these teams really don't like playing against Garrosh.
Yeah, that's basically the same like in the first in the first match as well. We saw an Eric Garrosh ban, but especially on BOE, you really want to get rid of this guy as he can place you with a nice target. He can place you into the stun of your own immortal and get his own follow up just by by a member that is not even on your team. So yeah, kind of dangerous. Same goes for Alarak with his W. With his telekinesis, can really put down a hero into a spot that he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, so clearly focusing the team fight there with those bans, because Alarak can't do that much race compared to a lot of other heroes who get priority. Hanzo, on the other hand, he can. So I think that's where that's what that Hanzo ban is aimed at. I mean, I have to say the Hanzo arrows were not so impactful last game for DS. I wish. I mean, of course, I mean we're only.
Yeah, but we know actually what kind of interesting. Before I might call out a Vala pick here, because Vala is not yet banned, and it looked like it was a target ban, and Vala is very strong. And there we go. Boom.
Good. Correct prediction. Yes.
Yeah, but I want to talk about Hanzo before that, because Hanzo, especially strong on if Battlefield of Eternity as well, with the serrated arrows there, he can really do good on the race. So another reason maybe to ban him out here.
Yes, absolutely. I think the idea, I guess the idea of letting Vala through is that Sephiroth's saying, well, look, I'm going to play Joanna because she's still open. A, she's one of the best tanks in the game, and B, she directly answers that Vala damage. But of course, that leaves the Li Ming open here from Erwin for Team snOr. So Vala and Li Ming, that's great immortal poke and race there from Team snOr.
Yeah, together with the ETC, who is a little bit countered by the Johanna, but I feel like ETC is one of the top tier tanks in basically any time with all that CC that he brings in. And yeah, against that Greymane, he will provide a lot of peel for this so far pretty squishy backline. So very understandable choices here from both sides so far.
Yes, as Chen gets banned. I think Chen was one of the more impactful heroes last time for Diaz, so that's a very solid ban. I credit to Team snOr actually for playing around that Chen ult so successfully. Sometimes a Chen heroic can be just devastating on its own, but they ban him this time, so they won't have to even deal with him, even though they were good at it last time.
Okay, so we do get the Ana and the Imperious pick coming in. We haven't seen a mage yet for that Ana, but there are still a lot open, so they're gonna provide with that in the last pick, I guess. And the Imperious pick kind of surprises me for the moment. Maybe what value do you see from him here?
I think the idea is it's an Uther solo lane, by the way, that he's going up against. I think the idea I was about to say is just that he's a solid, like Imperious is a solid all-round brawler, and I think he's gonna. I was going to say before the Uther pick that he's going to control the solo lane, and he's going to be, a big nuisance in team fights, and you've only got ATC to control him. The Uther pick, I think, is a great answer to that. He's got the CC to really punish Imperious when he comes in, and he's got extra healing and burst protection. So a great pickup there from Rafaloy on Team snOr. So I think that's a well-rounded draft with the addition of the Uther from Team snOr. So I have to say I'm backing Team snOr here on draft alone.
Yeah, let alone the performance in the team fights from the first match coming in. I really feel like that as well. We do have Vala, which is like hyper carry. Vala got back into the game a little bit, and especially with that Uther that we know in the current meta can work on a solo lane. With the ETC for the peel, they do have the way better sustain fights, and even if they need to, they can blow up a target with that Li Ming and Vala burst damage on an isolated target from the ETC.
Okay, well, we're going to find out as we introduce the teams. And we're going to number 2 in this best of 3 quarterfinal. And in blue, on the left, we have Diaz with Sephiroth playing the Johanna, Gibbon on the Jaina. We have Junie on the Greymane, Pookie on Anna this time, and of course Mai on Imperius. And who's in the red team? Heroes at School.
On the right side, we do have Melee playing on the Vala. We have Raffaloy on the Uther. Empress is playing the ETC with Irwin on Liming, and Snakeybots is playing the Rhaegar here.
Absolutely. So these teams are both going to go to the fairly standard laning structure: Uther versus Imperius in the top lane, and 4v4 in the bottom, as the teams start trading blows and start clearing. Level 1 talents are in, and ETC, I have a great respect for this. ETC going for the auto attack talent. That presumably means he's going Hammer on at level 7, because that gives him more immortal and single target damage in general. One of the things people might think that's a bit strange though is because the Joanna blind does mean she can shut down ETC's healing a little bit when he's blinded. But outside of that, he will be getting a lot of self-sustain.
Yeah, I mean, he does, but kind of surprised by that as well, as we still do see kind of a good burst combo coming in, especially with the nano boost Jaina later and the Greymane. So you're not gonna be able to be around the enemy backline for a longer time. So like I get the idea on the shrine. He can heal himself up pretty well, or in the objective, but not sure if he can really benefit from it a lot in the team fights. It's gonna be interesting to see.
By the way, Uther just getting those auto attack stacks up and running as fast as possible, just hitting those minions and Imperius whenever he can. Of course, once he gets to 75, then he'll have Hammer of Justice a lot faster, because he'll be able to reduce that Hammer of Justice cooldown every time he auto attacks. So definitely there's going to be a lot of stuns coming out from me for this game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Divine Storm as well, as the fight kicks off over this bottom camp. ETC completely zoned out by that Blizzard though, so Emperor basically has to give position here. So nice zoning Blizzard there from Gaben to just completely create a frosty wall between his team and the enemy.
Yeah, and again, it feels like it's not too much to tell about around 2 minutes, but it feels like a good start from the Team DS here.
Yeah.
By the way, of course, we do have that Monster Hunger coming in, as Vala is really going for that race build with the Q build here. Still meta on Battlefield for Eternity. And that Force Armor, kind of the usual talent to go on Liming, as well, as you do not have too many globes around the team fights around the objectives.
By the way, already we see Sephiroth going for very different Joanna talents than Emperor's went last game. So Sephiroth going for the reduced Iron Skin cooldown, hold your ground, and the Sins Exposed. Now the Sins Exposed is the natural choice for doing more immortal damage, of course, but also, you know, commonly picked on other maps by most Joanna players as well. So Sephiroth really showing that he's going to go in a different direction from Emperor's Joanna did last game. But of course, it was Team snOr who won last game, so we'll see how that works out. First half,
yeah, I guess it's kind of a new situation. You won't get too many cooldown reductions on your Condemn with that same build, so it's basically only understandable. And you do have like kind of a better wave clear on the Johanna as well if you decide to go for the
Anna is getting completely blown up here. Lovely control there by ETC, slides in and to secure the kill on that Anna, and that means that this gives a little bit of a window where Team snOr can start pressing forwards and create a bit of space, because they were down on that Immortal. But I think the poke might be enough just to secure. Yeah, okay. So that Team snOr have secured the first Immortal of the game, going up in the top lane.
Yeah, felt like a little bit uncoordinated try of defense there, with Anna way too much in the front line there and no chance of saving her afterwards.
So they're going to push the usual four top and 1 bottom here, and I don't know how much this Immortal can do, because of course Jaina and Greymane are pretty good at clearing the Immortal. Well, you know, one of the reasons that drafting Immortal race is important on this map is it's not just winning the Immortal, it's when you lose it, you still need something to clear the enemy Immortal, and that's exactly what Greymane and Jaina are doing right now. It's not going to take the fort, and lovely zoning there from Sephiroth. Presses the Iron Skin just in time. But it has taken the front wall and the well and half the fort, which is still a juicy early advantage at 4 minutes. Level 7 talents are in. And Jaina's gone full Frostbolt, and is full range, by the way, at level 1. So that, you know, really trying to just poke down that Immortal. ETC going so aggressive, trying to create space on that camp, but you just can't tank that kind of Jaina Greymane damage as an ETC. So has to play a bit more cautiously there, and give the camp over to Diaz.
ETC is kind of the wrong tank for that, so they will have trouble if they really try to hold a point for longer than a few seconds. As ETC is a nice target then anyway, like, because he can he doesn't have provide with that much of a health pool.
Yeah, he's not that tanky unless, I mean, so because he's built auto attack, he can actually do a fairly bit of self-sustain just by continuing to trade blows. But in that kind of situation where he's just got to kind of walk through a field to get to the enemy team, and in the meantime he's getting bombarded.
Do have a gank on the bot lane under the Imperius, and he's that is a nice attempt of in his camp here, but he doesn't get through there and gets finished off by the Rega.
Nearly an epic escape, nearly, but not quite. As you say, Rega finishes that kill off, and now that bottom camp will be picked up by Team snOr, and that will add to the continuous pressure in that bot lane. Slight smidgen of an XP lead here for Diaz, but I think even this wave is enough to cover it for Team snOr. So very even on XP, both of these teams, despite the 2 tower advantage for Team snOr. And immediately, Team snOr want to get positioned on this Immortal. They have the the Valor Q build. Joanna's there trying to create a bit of space. Maybe she can get punished for that, but a huge Iron Skin there will allow her to retreat. And that first half of the Immortal very comfortably over to Team snOr. So we'll see how this the second half goes. I guess Diaz have to engage and look for a fight. They're going under their own Immortal to try and get a bit of a defender's advantage. Sephiroth goes in very deep with the Joanna, has the Iron Skin available. ETC trying to zone, looking for the slide here, but he can't slide too deep, otherwise he'll be completely punished. ETC has to slide back, and it's Imperius zoning out the Valor there.
Yeah, and as we talked about this, the team of Team snOr, they don't have any pressure here anywhere, so they can like delay the push on the Immortal there. And we have Diaz with the back against the wall, so they have to delay the push coming in.
Yep, ETC slides in, this time onto Imperius, but the level 10s are in for Diaz and not in for Team snOr. Imperius manages to pop his ult. The Ring of Frost there doesn't quite connect onto Uka, who manages to walk out, and Imperius will throw his missiles in a second, catches onto ETC, who's nearly ready to go down, and he's the first to pop. That's going to allow Jaina to start chasing for more, but that's all they need. It's 2 kills so far, but that Immortal is still so low.
It's pretty low, and we do have the damage of Vala and Li Ming still up, so that's why we see the 2 tanks being able to zone that out. They really try to disposition them. And there's an attempt from the Li Ming to finish off the Immortal, and she might get punished for that. No, Ancestral is actually denied by the Anna bomb. Oh, wow.
That's unfortunate, but they still don't get the kill on her. But it's still, you know, that still feels unpleasant. Is Imperius out of position here? The slide in, the burst from Li Ming and the Valor.
He had all 5 members back up, so he felt like probably he had to delay that because their own Immortal was really so low, and that split second of damage from Li Ming and Valor could have been enough to secure the objective. So Imperius decided to go no risk here and sacrifice himself to secure the objective for his own team there.
I'm not sure how much shield that is, but it's barely visible, however much it is. And Valor will make short work of this Immortal. I doubt it'll... I mean, it might get a tower. I don't know if I doubt it'll get 2. But of course, Diaz know that, so they're immediately pushing to the bot lane instead and trying to get a well or something. Don't really get much, but there's 2 towers down in both lanes now for Diaz, as Team snOr have only towers in 1 lane. Here's the Ring of Frost though, onto 2 members. Can Rhaegar get out of here with the help of Uther? Yes, he can. ETC presses the mosh pit though. It's a massive mosh pit, this time hitting 2 members. Jaina's got the nano boost active, but she couldn't do anything because she was too busy dancing. Rhaegar's been taken out eventually, and great little play there from Diaz, who turned around what looked like a big mosh pit.
Yeah, kind of surprised by that. I mean, we do have double cleanse on the side of Team snOr, so they are actually able to keep their ETC running on and on with the mosh pit there for a little bit of time. But this time they still didn't manage to get a kill out of it. And afterwards, after they ran out of the mosh pit, they were pretty screwed.
Yeah, I was sort of expecting Jaina to just die in that mosh pit. You know, it looked like a good mosh because initially the pressure was on ETC, and then he turned around, did a great mosh, and I thought, is Jaina dead here? But apparently they didn't really have the follow-up ready to go. And that's one of the difficulties with a kind of panic mosh is your team isn't in position to follow up. Oh, as ETC gets rooted, can they follow up? The Ancestral completely denied by the grenades. Lovely grenades here from Ana, played by Porky.
For the second time already, Porky with the perfect mines here. Grenade, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely huge play from Ana. That's 2 out of 2 Ancestrals denied. If she keeps this up, this is going to be... Rhaegar's not going to get any value this game at all. And I'm almost surprised... Oh, in comes Imperius with the Imperius.
What a nice read here from the Imperius, and they... Oh, Rhaegar with the delay, and Li Ming gets away. Barely.
And that was even with another great grenade, by the way, which stopped Li Ming getting healed. And this is one of the difficulties if you go for a 2-support comp, is an Ana grenade can really shut down all your plans. You know, you're like, oh yeah, we've got, you know, twice the healing. Well, no, you've got 0 healing if Ana says so. And Porky really having a huge impact here on Ana. But the fight's about to kick off around this Red Immortal. Team snOr not going to give this up too easily. Diaz say, actually, you know what, we can play this cautiously. We don't have to commit too hard. We're just going to wait for you to make the mistake and find the Nano Boost Ring of Frost when we can. But ETC slides in, gets the mosh pit with the cleanse on top. Absolutely huge, but somehow Creamy manages to get out of there. The Ring of Frost to turn around is absolutely massive. The Nano Boost comes in. ETC's going to be the next to fall. It's 4 members on the deck, and only Rhaegar survives. Absolute massacre here by Diaz against Team snOr.
Wow. That Imperius Q was so clutch. We had a good mosh, we had the cleanse there, they were dancing for quite some time, but just as they were about with the Li Ming and the Valor come in to do the damage there, we saw a 3-man stun from the Imperius coming in, and they were completely denied from the damage, and afterwards they were able again to turn around the teamfight there. Very well played here from the side of Diaz, who are actually kind of showing maybe because why this is their map. But so far, to be fair, it's just some really strong performance in the team fights, especially from Ana and Imperius so far.
Yeah, and great play from them. And again, everything you talked about, just a great turnaround there. And by the way, you know, the first Immortal we said it had no shield at all, and it wasn't going to do much. That's definitely not the case here. This shield's still going strong. And by the way, it's a 3-level advantage now. The level 16 talents are in for Diaz, and that's going to allow them even more pressure on this keep, as ETC's got to be careful. In comes the skewer from Imperius and finishes the job off. And now it's 5v4 as well as 16 vs 13, and there's an... the Ring of Frost on top! That's absolutely savage. Uther and Vala made short work of that by
What is going on, Diaz? My lord!
And this looks like it's going to be game. They're going to equalize out this quarterfinal. They're going to make it 1-1 as they push all the way with this second Immortal of the game. And GG's been called. Well played to Diaz.
Wow.
What a devastating performance.
Wow, what a performance. They were so well synergized in these fights. They were so well communicated. That was amazing by Diaz. It didn't look like the first match at all. We do have a 12-3 kill count, and that was to see in these fights. Amazing.
Phenomenal play from both teams here, but in particular Diaz looked so sharp here. And you know, we talked about those mosh pits. They were great. They were good mosh pits on multiple targets with a cleanse on top to stop them being interrupted. And yet at the end of the fight, it was always Team snOr who was losing. And I'm not sure what the magic ingredient here was, but the Ana grenades are impactful, and as you talked about, Mayon Imperius. Oh my days. Great.
Yeah,
great
and
play.
like the Ana, I guess we could the Ana is especially strong against that double support that they did have. So I'm actually kind of surprised now after seeing the game. I'm kind of surprised that Team snOr actually still ran once they saw the Ana still ran with the double support here. It was kind of like, I didn't see it at the time, but it's kind of predictable that you can get a lot of problems against the Ana with your double support run there. And then, like, I got a first impression when we saw that fight on the bot lane. Like, we saw a missed ring. It missed all targets. and we saw a good mosh, and they still lost the team fight. So that was a moment, or that was the time that I kind of felt like the Deers could be could have the upper hand here in the team fights, and they've shown this easily afterwards when they still managed to connect every spell of them, like the Ring of Frost, the Qs from the Imperials, everything was then on point. And yeah, it's this is a complete open third match in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this. I've got no idea what's going to happen because definitely in game number 1, Team snOr looked stronger overall strong and steady throughout the whole game, even when they were on the back foot. In game number 2, Diaz were like, "This is our team fighting prowess." Imperius is an absolute devastation force to be reckoned with, and Anna Grenade's going to say goodnight to your 2 support idea. I guess they might not go for the 2 support idea again. We might see an Imperius ban coming out from Team snOr. Frankly, I don't know. We'll have to see, of course.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see for me as well if we might see some target bans, because we might have just witnessed Team Deers finding a combination or a combination that they can run very comfortably. And so that maybe, first of all, map is not yet decided, I guess, but I guess we're going to see a more macro-based map again, picked from Team snOr. That would be my prediction here. And afterwards, it's going to be interesting to see if we might see a target ban from that second match against the Imperius, or maybe even the Anna. Although on the other side, Anna might have worked particularly well in this Rhaegar Uther encounter. So maybe they're going to let the Anna open and just ban the Imperius out, as he had so much impact there in the team.
We have some news on the map, which is for game number 3, the deciding game in this best of 3 quarterfinal. We will be going to Volskaya Foundry as picked by Diaz. So, and we saw how impactful they were with their map pick here on Battlefield of Eternity. So let's see what they can do. And by the way, Diaz have picked all 3 maps in this series. So.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised by of Team snOr to really go for the first pick choice here, because it really felt like that micro-based map and not macro-based map is really working in the favor of Team Deers, and it's not too surprising that they decide to go on Volskaya, which is exactly that.
Yep, and it looks like it's going to be. I mean, they could just do the same again on the side of Diaz. They could just go, Imperius, Jaina, Anna. That all works here on Volskaya. They can really play around those team fights. So, I think it's going to be very interesting. I think draft is going to have a big impact this game, and we'll see how these teams play it.
First, it's going to be interesting for me to see the bets going on during the draft in this third match, because I guess a lot of people didn't count in any chances for Team Deers after the performance on match number 1. But after what we've seen just in the last match, I think that might change a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how exactly. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know who to put the money on. Frankly, and we said Team snOr came into this series as the favorite, having done better in the division stages and done better in viewer polls and stuff. But now it really is anyone's game after that performance by Diaz, where they looked so incredible. And I think the Joanna might be an important priority pick for both teams here. So we'll see how that plays into the draft as well. So I think the betting people are probably going to have to hold their bets until they see some of the draft, because I think that's going to be so decisive here.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Like, we do have the first pick on the sides of Team snOr again, and they might really go for the priority on a Johanna. We did see a lot of waiting, a lot of thinking before the first pick on Walla was made, which I actually was glad to call out. But I guess they got exactly that thought in mind. Like, shall we go for the Johanna first here? And they kind of paid for it to not get the Johanna first there. So it would be interesting to see if maybe we even gonna see her banned out.
Yes. While we wait just for these teams to get ready, just a reminder for those of you who don't know that this weekend is all about the Heroes Lounge Legendary Cup and the Heroes Lounge Mythic Championship, which is tomorrow on the same channel. You can catch all the matches here. But next weekend, we see the return of Division S. Division S Season 2 kicks off its qualifiers on a range of channels, including Caldor, Malganir for the French team, for the French viewers, etc. You know, some really big names casting that. If you want to get more information about Division S, type !DivS in the chat. And if you want to support the prize pool for Division S, then you can type !DivS donate. I think it's something like that with a hyphen, or donate divs or something like that. They'll try some combos out, and you can. We're crowdfunding some of the prize pool for Division S, so you can support the players that way. Let's go into the draft in game number 3 here, in the first quarterfinal in the Legendary Cup. So we're on Volskaya Foundry, and we've talked about lots of ideas for the bans here. Garrosh still getting priorities. I think here on this map that makes a lot more sense than it did on Battlefield, and so I'm not surprised to see the Garrosh ban. Will a Joanna ban come out now, do you think?
So far we go with the standard bans, and I kind of expected it, but a second round is like the point where I think we might see some target bans coming in. But we don't. We still see the Hanzo ban like we did in the second match. So Team snOr actually going with the same ban route as in the second match so far.
Yes, just nothing too extraordinary. I'm not sure the Hanzo needed that level of prioritization. I think there are other things they could have gone for, but in terms of the second ban from Team snOr, but fair enough if they think Diaz are particularly impactful on that Hanzo. And Joanna, yeah, we said it, didn't we? Joanna was a deciding factor maybe in the draft so far. Whoever's had Joanna has won so far in this series. 100% win rate for Joanna. So banning that out from Diaz.
Yeah, and that leaves a few tanks still open. I guess top tier tank is still the ETC. We might see the Malganis coming in again on the side of Team Deers, who actually performed not too bad on the first match, although they lost that. And then we already see the priority on the tanks, as Johanna was banned out and Garrosh as well. Not too surprising. So Emperor is going again, if they don't swap, on the ETC here.
So how did Diaz respond to that? I mean, I think they respond with brutal damage. Gaben on Li Ming this time, and Juni on Greymane. I mean, that's gotta be pretty scary for ETC in particular, who can't really tank all that level of poke.
For sure not. So I guess we might see a good and strong initiation, engage, single target combination coming in here from Team snOr now. Because they really can't go for the team fights. And just as I said, we see Vala and Rega. So exactly the opposite of what I was saying there.
Yeah, I mean, and they've... By the way, those first 3 picks for Team snOr, exactly 3 of the heroes that they had in the last game. Melee on Valor, you know, Snaky Boots on Rega, Emperors on ETC. I'm
calling out an Enna ban for Team snOr now. 100%.
Yes,
Li Ming Nano Boost and the benefit against the Ancestral, they don't want to face that again.
Boom! Yeah, bang, they slammed that. They're like, we're not having that Anna again. Porky denied. By the way, what about Zarya here for Team snOr to give that kind of hyper carry edge to Valor?
That could actually work, although we might see that on the other side as well. Question is, maybe we're gonna see some strange heroes coming in as well, but so far it doesn't look like it. We do have the Stukov pick here and the Imperius.
Yeah, I think Stukov is a solid pickup for the support. I think he's gonna have the answers to ETC. Whether he's got the answers to Valor's damage, I'm not sure, but I guess we'll see. It depends on how Porky plays, and if Porky plays Stukov as well as they did Anna, then that could be huge. Volstad.
What?
I be honest, I wasn't expecting that. Have you got any thoughts on that?
What? I just, okay. So why would you go Falstad? That map is not too big for your global. You don't benefit as much from the wingman here, which is kind of standard way to go. But you can stack a good Q quest here, and we do see the immediately answer by another engage here from Anubarak. So just draft wise, I would go with the Deers here, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm sort of the same view. I think that's just a well-rounded draft from Diaz. Look, I'm not against Falstad as a hero. I think Falstad's, Falstad's a great hero in the right situation. If this was Dragonshire, if this was Alterac Pass, if this was Cursed Hollow, I'm absolutely saying that's a nice pick. Those are nice pickups there from Team snOr. I just think on Volskaya, I don't really get it. Unless his plan is to do something crazy like stack Q Quest or something you don't really see,
Yeah, but even then, I think there were like better heroes you could stack quests or benefit from, just a clumped up team when
Like
you
a
fight
Kael'thas
around a
even.
certain point.
Kael'thas was
Then
open.
Falstad. But yeah, let's just wait and see.
Let's indeed wait and see as we go into game number 3, the decider in this first quarterfinal of the day. We're going to have a long day here, aren't we, Heroes at School? And on the left, for the third time, it's Diaz with Pwoki this time on Stukov, Gaben on Leeming, Sephiro on Anubrak, Mai on Imperius, and who have I forgotten? Of course, I've forgotten Junie on Greymane. That's who I'm talking about.
And on the other side, for Team snOr, the favorites of this match up until now, we do have Melee on the Vala, we have Ruffaloy playing the Chen, Irvin is playing the Falstad, Empress is on the ETC, and Rhaegar is played again by Snakey.
So immediately we see a change in talent picks here from Empress, who went for the guitar hero I should say, on level 1 last time. This time going for the prog rock because he only has 1 support, so he wants to back that up with more heals for his team this time.
Yeah, and like if we, to really do a quick analysis again of the draft, I feel like with the Anubarak, who can basically initiate from quite some distance, if Imperius is somewhat near, to get his follow-up Q on the double stun that would be coming in from the Anubarak, and we do have a silence from Stukov just below that. That target will have a lot of trouble against Li Ming and Greymane. So, by the way, and upon that, the first bonus that we can see here is Greymane can easily solo do a turret anytime he wants to, or the top siege camp. So yeah, both teams are able here, but we already see that Team snOr actually have to put up 2 people onto the turret camp, and Greymane can solo it. So that's kind of a bonus for you as well.
Yeah, so the chat have pointed out that apparently Pwoki is renowned on Stukov for some of these root combos that he can do. So that could be, that's why the Stukov's been prioritized there. And if, as you were saying, if there's an Anubrak engage into a Stukov route, it's just going to be so nasty for whoever gets caught in
that Stukov route, I think it's still underestimated by a lot of people, especially on the lower ranks. It's one of the longest stun times there is, or rooted is it, but with the silence below, there's basically no difference between a root and a stun. So you do have a full 2 seconds of stun/rooted time, and that can be devastating.
And already we're seeing a bit of positional advantage for Diaz on the map as they secure the first healing item by kind of just nudging Team snOr away and then immediately taking it. So Falstad going for the the fairly standard build these days with the W at level 1, probably going to be Boomerang at level 7 into the Flow Rider maybe later. Oh, as Anubrak burrows in, looks for Falstad. Greymane to follow, can Li Ming secure it? The silence from Stukov shuts the door.
Don't even need Imperius. Just the silence, well placed from the Stukov here, and the good engage from Sephiro, and the burst damage coming in is enough. Finish off the bird for the first time here.
Yeah, and there's something. This is another reason the Falstad pick is maybe a bit strange, is because Falstad's a hero who can escape well from stuff, except if he gets stunned or rooted, and then he's in real trouble. And that's going to be a problem for Falstad consistently throughout this game. Now, he's not really going to have great range unless he does something exotic with his build. So I think Erwin might be kind of the target here for Diaz. Oh, as Leeming throws in the ult, but is Anubrak the target here? He has to jump out there sharpish just to get away with his life.
Yeah, but they still have the healing turret available, so they now bought the first 30%, they go for a bit of split push, and once they're gonna have level 7, they might try to take that advantage, although it's not gonna be for long, to re-engage with the advantage of another turret, which is coming in as well as the healing turret here.
Absolutely, and both teams, I assume, are going to go prioritize their turret, but it seems like Team snOr have not gone for their turret yet, whereas Diaz have picked up their turret fairly early on, and they've got 3 items now, and they're going to use that to muscle on the objective.
This looks like the first protector already. We see Mai even checking, and he's probably kind of surprised to not see any member of Team snOr doing their turret here. Although Falstad had enough on his wingman ready, so Imperius has to be a little bit careful because he's all out of mana for the moment. And we've seen an engage coming in from a Nubarak there in the backline, but he misses, and now they have to retreat here. Imperius tried to queue in again, but now he's really all out of mana. And we see them still try to hold that point, as they do have. We have 2 turrets pulled down, and oh, the biotic emitter didn't even pull off, so Walla manages to steal that. That is harsh.
Yeah, slight overconfidence there from Sephiro on the Anubarak. Just didn't use the healing item because they thought they were still in control of the fight. And then, all of a sudden, when the teammates retreated, Sephiro's Anubarak was left standing alone, and that's when the ETC slide can really punish an Anubarak. Like, Anubarak, for all his lockdown, he is a tank who's a bit flimsy if he gets controlled. Oh, and Mai on Imperius getting chain lockdown here, body block to hell, and that's good night Imperius. And with that, this might be the first protector going over to Team snOr, but Diaz aren't giving it away too easily. Sephiro's still stuck in there. The silence is nice from Stukov, but it's just not enough to save Anubarak from the onslaught that he's getting from this damage here.
Oh man, that feels rough. I still feel like they do have the better draft. But after the first fight, or in the first fight, you already could tell, like, that lack of communication. Maybe they are a little bit nervous, because you already could tell, like, Imperius was probably saying, get back, I need mana. Then you saw Anubarak going in again, and then was Anubarak on the retreat because he missed his E either way. So they were in between of holding the position or retreating, and I think they could have retreated easily, as they did have enough time to fill up the mana of Imperius and then re-engage. With all 5 members, and the advantage on the turret side they had. And then the mistake of not dropping the turret and dying with it, so healing turret in the side, or biotic emitter on the side of, ended up in the hands of Team snOr, who are actually now a 3/4 of a level lead, and they do have the level 10 advantage here.
The flank from Chen uses his Boogie Wonderland ult immediately to go onto Stukov, and the lockdown, and that's just brutal here from Team snOr, just deleting Stukov from the game, and that Punisher is going to be basically uncontested. Probably will be able to get this top fort as well, as already the resources they've taken in that top lane. However, that Chen ult is a long cooldown, so maybe the level 10s are up in time for Diaz to contest this healing item. I suspect not, and I suspect they're just going to go and play a bit safe, secure their own camp instead.
Yeah, so far, I mean, I wouldn't count anything out here. We do have level 10s kicking in for both sides now, finally. And yeah, we do have that cocoon up, which is kind of a game changer here as well.
What's going on down here? This is a big invade here, knowing that the Chen ult's on cooldown. Like I said, trying to take advantage of that, and Chen's being punished for it. The silence is there. Lovely cleanse. Saves Rathaloy, and with an Ancestral on top, he's still alive. The fight goes on. Emperor is trying to find the perfect mosh pit, but has to be careful, because if Anubra's not in, he can immediately interrupt it. In goes the Skewer from Mai, but it's not enough, and the objective is secured by Team snOr.
And yeah, it's like, it really feels like it's 2 things going on. I kind of miss that dedication, that like fully commitment that we saw in game 2 from Diaz. Like, if they had clear targets, they had clear shoutouts, and they went for it with 100% of the team. And this time they had a lot spread out. Half of the team going for the Chen here, half of the team going for the 3 members that were caught in a narrow position there. And yeah, on the other side, we see Team snOr actually delaying very well. Imperius, this time on ETC, with perfect peel for his team. And they managed to delay the fight long enough. And yeah, the longer the fight goes, the better for Team snOr here.
Yeah, Team snOr looking definitely more confident in this game number 3 than they did in game number 2. As Mai goes in, gets the skewer on Intemperors. And by the way, credit to Snaky Boots in that last fight on the Rhaegar. The cleanse onto Chen was so impactful that was a crucial factor in getting Rathaloy out of trouble. Sephiroth sensibly burrows to safety. Level 13s are in, and Val are going for the fairly standard Hatred build with the Tempered by Discipline there at level 13. And he's taking so much damage, followed with a skewer from Mai. Oh, the Healing Ward comes out, tops him up a little bit, but Emperor's going to have to sit back and top up before they engage again. But Team snOr definitely want that level 13 versus 12 fight. I just don't know if Diaz are going to give it to them at all.
Yeah, and we already can tell again, like, we see Imperius on that Q build, which is kind of understandable if you go for that single target blow up. But one of the downsides of it, and I recognize this a lot of the times in my own games, is the use of mana, because you really need a lot of mana for this with the cooldown reduction on the Q as well. And yeah, you really basically have to be back every team fight.
Yeah, and so I think with the level 13s will be picked up by Diaz, you know, in time to contest this objective, but I guess the disadvantage they have is they don't have the fort or the well in that top lane. So they're going to try and make a play for the healing item where it's a more neutral area. And the question is, will Team snOr sniff this out in time and contest it? The answer is no, and they're going to sit back and just get more soak. Chen and Falstad going off to do camps and soak. Knowing as they do, they can just give that top lane top objective for, you know, 20-30 seconds.
Interesting tactics going on here now with Chen on the mid lane and Falstad with the global on the bot lane, so even getting some value out of that here on this otherwise pretty narrow map.
Yes, and the team, I think Falstad and Chen really trying to get as much soak as they can. They don't think they can soak 16 anywhere near in time, but I mean, I assume they're contesting the objective eventually. When it gets to 60%, 70%, they're going to start moving up. But Chen hasn't moved yet, and it's at 60 now. And in the meantime, of course, that top lane is taking a pounding from Diaz. Is this the right play from Team snOr to give so much space?
Yeah, they force themselves into a position because they're gonna get roughly to 90% and maybe even more. So they do get into this overtime, and they really have to stand on the point, which is kind of crucial there. We do have again a cleanse coming in on the Chen as he gets focused a lot. We have to cocoon in the backline. Mighty Gust was pulled up there, but Ancestral Healing and the Earth, and Fire is actually the Lion itself. And then we see Lim Ming jumping away, and she gets healed a lot. We have healing turrets on both sides. The silence was pretty praised well, but now we do see Team Diaz dropping lower and lower, but they still manage to be everyone alive. And we do have, again, a focus on Lim Ming in the backline there. That fight goes on and on and on, and Mai on Imperius is dropping lower and lower, but it might be Chen who falls first. Yes, it actually is Chen who falls first, but we see the David re-engage from the ETC coming in, and he gets the kill against Imperius on the other hand. And we do have a 1-for-1 situation. Level 16 is here against level 14. So this will probably mean another protector on the side of Team snOr here. What a fight.
Wow, that was just back and forth both ways. And again, credit to Porky on the Stukov. I don't know how much you saw, but the Li Ming and Greymane both falling really low. And the Stukov healing syphilis, as it's sometimes called, just spreading around, keeping everyone topped up. They want to contest this, Diaz, because their respawn time is slightly shorter than Chen's. So Imperius is thinking about coming here, but there's no mosh pit available, no Ancestral available. The Gust, though, the Gust could have been used to maybe create a bit more space to capture this. But the 16 versus 14, I'm not sure why Team snOr don't just go for this and try and punish. Falstad's in a cocoon. The point, though, the objective's going to go over. This is a miraculous...
What the hell?
What's going on? Is Junie, can he get in the Punisher? I think he can, and that means the Chen dived a little bit too deep against the Punisher. Cleanse comes out from Rhaegar, just about saves him. But what? What a steal here from Diaz. They just got a Punisher from basically nothing. They were even on heroes and down on talent, and they said, actually, we're just going to come into this point, and you're too scared to fight us because because of our confidence and because Imperius is back, you know, a few seconds before Chen. And yeah, I would have liked to see the Gust used a bit more to kind of keep them from coming anywhere near the point and just say, look, we're getting the point. Because both teams run 99%. Don't forget, as Pwoki, is he going to get caught out here? Can the shield save him from the Protector? Just about for a second, but not any longer.
Ooh, and this might turn even worse, as they are pretty deep with the Protector. Rayman is the one who falls first, and Li Ming with another teleport ready to get into safe spaces. So we do have Stukov and Greyman fallen here. That for a fourth, so actually Team snOr not paying too much for that given Protector, but if you count in the losses they could have gotten from the Protector themselves, it's quite a big change in total.
Yeah, I just think I think they didn't need to give it. I mean, it's not the end of the world for them to give it, as we've pointed out, and they've basically lost at the most top fort front. But they would have got mid and bottom fort, maybe a front wall on a keep with it as well if they'd got it on the side of Team snOr. So it's, as you say, the kind of opportunity cost of not getting it themselves rather than any casualties they've taken. I mean, Team snOr looking confident in the fights, but a little bit more cautious when it comes to pushing with an advantage. And by the way, they're now running at 3 items on the side of Team snOr, so they're definitely feeling like if there's going to be a fight, it's definitely going to go in favor. It's going to be Team snOr are the favourites in the next fight, and of course, Deers have to take this fight as soon as possible because the level 20 is not so far away as there's a lockdown onto Chen, but he runs behind the gate. Level 20 is not far away now for Team snOr, and that's why Falstad and ETC both off soaking in other lanes. They're prepared to give up a fort for this level 20. They're saying, look, you can have this fort. We're going to soak the 20, and then we're going to come and play, and it'll be playing on our terms. As Emperor is also has to be careful because all that Deers want to do right now is find a pick of somebody out of position.
Yes, they really need this to buy themselves a little bit of time to close that experience gap once level 20 is here, because they can't force a fight. The objective is announced, so we will have a 20 against not 20 situation somewhat around the next objective. And that objective can already mean gain, as the next Protector is going to a keep here on the side of Team snOr. So yeah, we see Team Deers kind of in a problematic situation. It's understandable that they really try to pick off someone on any lane.
Yes, and credit to Team snOr who are not allowing them even an inch on that front. Just playing very securely, just soaking up the 20, which they've now got, and in come those level 20 talents. Oh, and immediately the fight kicks off. Chen gets locked down, the cleanse comes out, but it's not enough. The silence is there, but the Ancestral will save him. Now the Boogie Wonderland has popped, the Mosh Pit interrupted by a Cocoon, so ETC not in this fight right now. The Wind Tunnel comes from the side, gust people over. I think Team snOr are going to start getting some value here. They want to try and catch that Ming, but she's so low. Can she get away? It looks like she's safely away. And actually, ults were traded from both teams, and the fact that Deers survived is going to be, good for them overall, given the circumstances.
Yeah, it's okay, but I guess they could have. I saw some opportunities. I guess they would have wished to go for the Chen kill there as well. On the upside for them, they do have 2 ultimates still up, which are pretty low on cooldown, like the Cursed Bullet and the Wave of Force. And no ultimate yet up for the side of Team snOr, but I don't think that is enough to challenge that fight against level 20. Again, the attempt to maybe catch the Falstad on the top lane, but he's pretty aware of the situation, and instead they go for the healing for the Biotic Emitter here.
So, with that, they are slowly inching towards that level 20. The question is, can Deers give this Protector? I think they can and still stay in the game, and that would allow them, Deers, to get level 20, rather than going for the 19 versus 20 fight on the objective, which I think would backfire probably for Deers, and then of course they lose the objective and the fight, and so they've got nothing to defend. So I think they're just going to give this Protector, is going to push on the keep. Yes, it's going to take a keep for sure, but with the level, once Deers get level 20, which by the way they're not quite at yet, then they can probably defend this and not lose the game. So
yeah, that's going to be the question here. I mean,
It is pushing on the keep. The turret used here by Diaz just to try and get a bit of extra damage onto that protector, but the turret's already fallen, and the keep's going down pretty quickly. However, the protector down to 1/3 of HP, and so there's no threat to the game just yet, unless Diaz make a mistake and overextend chasing it. That's something they've got to be really careful of here, because ETC will punish that.
Okay, so they managed to survive another day, and again, like in the first match, it doesn't look like we see Team snOr to go for too much of a risk here.
Yeah, I think they're just playing... I mean, we saw that in Game 1, remember, on Infernal Shrines, where we thought they could push core, and they chose not to, and just consolidate. And, you know, when you've got 2 forts and a keep up, you can just play a little bit cautiously. You can just say... You don't have to say we're going to go for the win. Oh, but is Falstad flanking for the wind tunnel? Maybe. They've got to be careful. The level 20s are in now, though. Is ETC getting locked down? He goes in, slides in. He doesn't have... Does he have death metal? Yes, he does. So if he dies, it's going to be a massive death mosh. It's on to 3 members. Oh, my days. But Greymane's still alive, but the wind tunnel has to be used to save members here. But Chen's still trying to go in, get value onto Li Ming. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch the kill. And now, that's a massive kill here for Diaz. And they can start getting some value, finally, from their advantage.
Yeah, kind of surprised by what we saw in that team fight there. We saw a really aggressive, and again, it's like we see Team Deers being very stronger with the back against the wall now, like we did have in this situation, like what was the situation in the completely game 2, because they knew like we had to go for this. It's a do or die situation, and again this time they had the level 20 and they knew they had to make a move, and we saw a lot of more commitment towards clear targets. Like the blow up on the ETC there was actually finished this time by the members, and they got the kill. And afterwards, yeah, they were able to benefit from that in the team fight.
Yeah, so with that, the Deers are going to go for their turret, and snOr are going to go for the healing item. So, nothing too surprising so far, as both teams consolidate their items, and things are looking just fine. Okay, so what is the game plan here for Team snOr? Maybe the game plan is catch Li Ming out of position with a wind tunnel. Oh, is it a disaster for Gaben? They can converge, but oh, the teleport just away in time. Everyone on Diaz is running down trying to save Li Ming, and Gaben gets away, and now there's no wind tunnel available. Great escape from Gaben.
And that is a clutch talent. Wind tunnel is so strong. Good escape here from the Li Ming with the level 20 upgrade, with the repulsion there, to save herself some space. And despite all the slow that she was pushed on with from that Falstad, especially with the crippling hammer on 16, she was so slowed, but she still managed to get away there.
Yeah, huge from Li Ming to escape. But the game isn't over yet. And I think Team snOr can just wait 15 seconds for that gust to come back up. But in the meantime, of course, Chen has to be careful, because Deers probably want to engage before that gust is up. It should be up in a few seconds. So it's not... Again, everything has reset, and basically it's just the keep advantage now for Team snOr. And they're just... The other thing is the structural advantage of 2 structures is trickling gradually more XP for Team snOr. Now, we tend not to think of XP post 20 as being that important, and it's not, but it'll still be a damage bonus. Like, you're still getting 4% damage and 4% health per level. So
yeah, not only that, I think especially the situation that we do have a 0-2 lane on the bot lane is going to apply pressure through the bot lane even faster. So that is kind of a perfect situation for the side of Team snOr to delay fights. And we see Team Deers really having to look for a fight whenever they can. So they really have to go quickly into a fight and not delay anything too much, because they're going to get pressured on the bot lane anytime.
I'm not too convinced by this Falstad split push strategy. I just think it takes Falstad, like, yes, he's a global, but it takes him a good, 5 seconds to get to a fight, and in 5 seconds of a fight, a lot can go wrong. As indeed, Sephiroth's engaging right now. In comes the Falstad flying in immediately. The mosh pit, no! It's a massive anti-synergy. The wind tunnel on top of the mosh pit. This is a disaster in coordination here from Team snOr, and it's slightly backfired for them.
kind of surprised by that because we actually saw that the first time with the first few around the support camp there at the top. Although it was kind of forced the wind tunnel to save Falstead himself. But this time there was no real reason there for it, and it just like a lack of communication there.
In they go though, ETC with the slide in, Chen pops his Boogie Wonderland ult. They want to chase here, but look at this disengage here from Diaz. They're trying to get out in time. The Chen ult is falling apart, and so he has to sit back. Finally, it's 5v5. No ults available here for either team, and in goes Imperius with the skewer, has his magic missiles, comes out and does a bit of damage, but both teams playing very cautiously here.
Cursed Bullet on the ETC, and that is an ultimate that is going to be up, but Wind Tunnel is up in 1 second, so we do have another Wind Tunnel coming in, and this time if he puts him against the wall, this might be a slow stun time there. We've seen him engage on the Imperius there in the front line, and he actually falls to the damage of Falstead there, and that might change the game here. Cocoon is there on Vala, but they do get the kill against Greymane, and now they are on the retreat, but I guess this means game here.
It looks like it. Falstead immediately flying to the core. He doesn't even care about the Stukov kill. Just wants to end the game, end the series, and get his team into the semi-finals. And I think the core pressure was so impactful there, and that's why we saw a little bit of hesitation from Diaz, is because they saw that their core was under pressure from 2 catapults on different sides. And GG, well played, is 2-1 to Team snOr.
Yeah, so I still think that draft was won from Team Diaz here. But it's the two things coming together here. Like Team Diaz maybe with a little bit of nerves, especially in the early phase. Like that first protector, they could have snowballed from there, it felt like, because they had such a good kill against Falstead just in the early game. They had a very strong performance with the macro on the turrets and everything. They had 3 turrets, 2 damage turrets and a healing turret, against only 1 at that point. So, and already 70% on the objective. So this was like kind of a clue and clear situation for the team of for the team of Diaz. But in the end, we saw Team snOr actually being really capable of delaying the situation, of benefiting from the longer fights there, and in the end win the game.
Okay, great play from Team snOr. I think we've got a lot more to see from them, and commiserations to Diaz, who go out 2-1. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to be watching Northern Exposure versus Team Heart. Now, before we go to our break, just a quick background, if you would, heroes, on what we can expect from those teams.
Oh yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't have any time because it's only the first match and we already went for a third there. So I didn't look too much into these 2 teams, but again, I think it's a Division 2 against Division 3 situation. Let me look that up real quick to not say anything wrong. It's not an exposure, so we do have the 2nd place from the regular season, fighting it up against what is the game?
Northern Exposure versus Team Heart.
Team Heart, well, yeah.
Okay,
so it's 2nd place from the Division 3. So kind of a closer match than the first one, just from that perspective. But if you already saw like what happened in the first match, I guess it's an open game again.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing that, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the 2nd quarterfinal very soon.